Sukkah, Perek Beis, Mishnah Beis. Hasomech sukkosei bekari hamito ksheira. Someone who rests the schach, the sukkah, on the legs of a bed. The sides of the bed extend upwards, and on the top of that there's a space of 10 tefachim from the base of the bed until the schach. At that level he places schach. That is ksheira. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. Im eino yechola lamoid bifnei atzma pesula. If this schach cannot stay in its place on its own, but moves around with the bed, then that will be psula. Explains the Bartanura. This is Rabbi Yehuda, consistent with his view we've seen in Perek Aleph, Perek Beis 2. Rabbi Yehuda Latamei, Rabbi Yehuda follows his view, which is sukkah diras keva bo'inon. A sukkah needs to be a permanent structure, and therefore if it moves around with the bed, this is not considered permanent, and therefore the sukkah would be pesula. As we've mentioned before, we do not paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. The Mishnah continues with 3 other examples where the sukkah is ksheira. Sukkah hamuduvleles. This is a disarranged sukkah. What does that mean? Explains the Bartanura. Shlo hishkiv hakonim yachad zeh etzel zeh. The reeds, the schach, they were not placed next to each other at the same level. Elokona oile v'kona yored. There were different levels, some higher, some lower. And therefore, because they were at different levels, less than 3 tefachim between them, but nevertheless at different levels, there was more sunlight than shade. Nevertheless, says the Bartanura, va'ashme'inan masnisen, the Mishnah teaches us that we consider ki'ilu hoyu mushkovim b'shoveh, as if they were all at one level, and if they were all at one level, v'im oz tzilosa meruba kasheira. If were they to be considered all at one level, there would be more shade than sunlight, then the sukkah is a sukkah ksheira. Continues the Mishnah, another example of a kosher sukkah. V'shetzilosa meruba mechamosa. At the level of the schach, there must be more shade than sunlight. And says the Tiferes Yisrael, even if the schach is very thin, dak, va'avir rav, there could be a lot of airspace throughout the sukkah. Never 3 tefachim of airspace on its own, but there could be a lot of airspace at the level of the schach. Nevertheless, we consider the whole sukkah, and we consider, is there more shade than sunlight? If at that level there's more shade than sunlight overall, then the sukkah will be a sukkah ksheira. And the final example, hamu'uba kimin bayis. If the schach is very thick indeed, kosher schach, but very thick, even though stars cannot be seen through that schach at night, when it's dark, because the schach is so thick, ksheira, nevertheless the sukkah is ksheira. However, concludes the Tiferes Yisrael, Lechatchila tzorich sheyuchal liros kochavim balayla mitoch haschach. Lechatchila, it is preferred that one should really see the stars through the schach. It shouldn't actually be that thick, so that one can actually see the stars, and that would be the preferred sukkah. That concludes Mishnah Beis.